Unraveled Game Thoughts. I am beginning an adventure here, a campaign of Gloomhaven, and the goal currently is to post as much of it as I can on my Patreon page, with a few bits and pieces here I'll have on my regular game channel. So if you are a Patreon of the channel, then you'll kind of have access to all of it, and then here and there I'll have various scenarios that I'll post in both places along the way, just based on timing and what's going on in life. So I've tried to make my own screen pretty small in the top corner. Lighting behind me will probably be varied depending on what's going on, so I apologize if it's a little bit of a glare. But I am making my first few selections. If you're not familiar with Gloomhaven, then hopefully along the way here you'll get a little bit of input on how the game is played. I am playing obviously on a computer, playing through Steam. I have a physical copy of the game, but getting everything out and setting it up and all that is rather challenging and time consuming, so it's great when playing with other players, but for a solo campaign I thought this would be a great venue to see how the game plays. And as I understand it, it's pretty similar to the game that comes out of the box, and with the exception of I saw some house rules I selected just before this screen, and most of those are pretty, I think, updates to the game. I think one of them was like kind of you could choose for spawns to drop coins or not drop coins, so there's some variability you can do in there, but most of it seems to make the game a little more streamlined, if anything else. So here at the beginning, I'm choosing my first character. I'm going to go with the Cragheart and the Brute. So the Cragheart's the first one that we're choosing. A personal quest, sole reason for adventuring. So this is kind of like, this is what's going to determine how your character retires. So I'm either going on a trophy hunt to kill 20 different types of monsters from the base game, or a Zealot of the Blood God, become exhausted 12 times. Basically that means I die 12 times in a scenario. That is a tough choice. This one, 20 different types of monsters, might be relatively fast. Becoming exhausted 12 times, that's hit or miss. I don't often want to become exhausted, nor do I shoot for that goal, so that could be a pretty significant toll. And the difficulty level I selected for this was normal, so I think things will be reasonably challenging, but they're not going to be hopefully overly difficult, so I doubt I'm exhausting as much. I'm afraid this one's going to retire my character a little too soon, but I think I'm going to go with this trophy hunt quest, and this unlocks that. Yeah, this is different character types. I think this is if this is who I think it is, I'm not sure. I think I'd rather unlock this one. So I'm going to pick this quest, the 20 different ones, choose that quest, and turn our volume down here just slightly. And we want another mercenary, so we're going to select this, choose a new mercenary, pick this guy. I want the Brute. Maximus. We'll just call him Maximus. Create character, and what do we want? Oh, this is the one. This is the one I was not really as interested in playing. Complete the base game in each of the following areas: Gloomhaven, Dagger Forest, Lingering Swamp, Watcher Mountains, Copperneck, and Misty Sea. And the Fall of Man, 2 different scenarios in the Lingering Swamp. Then unlock Fading Lookout and follow it to its conclusion. I like this one better, I think. that character I believe I've played with before. If I unlock him, he's pretty good. And now we are pretty much ready to go. So this is our base screen, the map. We don't have a lot on the map here. If you scroll out, you can kind of see different major areas of the map with Gloomhaven in the center. We're going to start with a few base quests, and as we complete quests, we're going to start with the Black Barrow, and then it will open up more quests along the way so that there's sort of a tree of quests. The first thing we want to do is purchase items for our different heroes here. Now, each hero has 30 gold, and we're gonna be purchasing some things to help them along. I'm thinking that the Cragheart, I am gonna try to go for a sort of a ranged healer. That's my general goal. So I'm not planning for him to get in the middle of the fight quite as much. I'm going to plan for him to keep his distance and hopefully do a decent amount of healing. And so we want to use items that are going to accentuate that. Heal 3, attack 2. So this recovering a discarded card is a really good one for a healer. So we'll use some of his influence for that. The Cragheart does have some powerful spells, and some times that I think being able to jump over something will be helpful in getting him along faster. So we're going to go with that, and I'm going to equip that and these winged shoes, and then we'll go to the Brute. And let's see what we want to buy for him. He's going to be in the melee pretty often, so having an iron helmet that kind of offsets any critical strikes that are done against him is going to be very helpful. This will add -1s to his thing, and this will be add some disadvantage to attacks. So I think I'm going to go with this here. Oops. So we'll equip that helmet and the leather. I would often do a healing potion for him, but since we have a Cragheart, I don't think we're going to need to heal as much. Now, one thing I like to do is uncheck all of these. I'm going to have 10 cards to start when we go into our first battle, and I'm wanting him to tank. And the reason I do that is because you have 3 X cards here that we can use, and I want him to do as much damage as possible. And I really like this Skewer ability. That's an extremely good card. This one can be good, but I don't know how well I'm going to use it. And I really like this one. Retaliate to self, shield to self, or add +1 to my attacks that round. That's also very good. Since we want the Cragheart to kind of be more ranged, I want Maximus to not necessarily have as much range. I just want him to be able to attack and hit as many things as possible. So move 3 with a jump. This also creates wind on the bottom action. So that's going to help us with Skewer when we want to do Pierce on the Skewer. Attack 4 stun, that's good. It's a lost card though. But the shield 1 on the bottom is also very good if I'm in a situation where maybe I want to use my Wall of Doom on the top and just do a lot of damage with Retaliate. That can go well together, so that's a strong candidate for a card I want to have. Attack 3 and push 2 can knock things into trap and gives me a pretty good shield down the road with some good experience. So warding strength is probably going to be a good one. grab and go is one I might sub out whenever I want to be able to loot more. So I'd say, we've got different things, different options for different things there. Move 3 and push 2. That's often helpful for getting things in the traps. I really do like that one. And attack 3, push 2. Those are pretty strong candidates. So I'll come back to grab and go and shield bash and figure out which one I want the most. Disarm, very handy spell to play. And attack 2, which I can turn into attack 3 with my Wall of Doom bottom. I had +1 attack to all my attacks this round. This also has a move 3, push 1, so pushing things around can be very handy. Retaliate 2 self, I really like that. Plus a heal 2. Now I don't necessarily need healing, but this is an 18 initiative, so it allows me to potentially go early, and with a retaliate 2, that's not a bad deal. And then we have attack 3, pierce 2 with a move 4 jump, and attacking all enemies move through. That's a lot of good attack power. That leaves me with one more card I need. And let's see. That's a double attack and a ranged attack, both of which could be helpful at times. A loot 1 and move 4. How many move cards do I have? No move. Lost move. There's a move card. There's a move card. So I got 2, 3. I got 3 basic moves. I kind of think this move is going to be a better option for getting around the map and getting into position, so I'm going to go with that. And let's go over here to our Korg. So I am going for more of a heal build here. So I'm going to go ahead and get Nature's Lift. I'm not wanting to enhance my melee attacks very often. I do want to do a ranged build, so I don't think I'm going to use Forceful Storm, but it's there. It's not. It's something to bear in mind. I might come back to it. Attack 3 push, and +1 attacks to all my ranged attacks this round. That is really good for my ranged. I may do that more for the ranged than anything else. Alright, we have an attack 2 at range 5, and we have a heal 2 at range 3. I definitely want all the heals I can get, so we'll keep that one. This is a ranged, multi-attack area ranged ability, so we're going to keep that. This one, that's a pretty handy one, and it's a ranged one. We're going to go ahead and get the ranged unstable upheaval. Now this is usually one I almost always have. However, this is a melee attack largely, and I might avoid using it this time. So move 5 jump. That's not bad, but again, it's not part of the ranged. This adds target to my ranged attacks. That's kind of what I'm going for. That's another ranged attack. This is the heal. We're going to get the heal for sure. This is not ranged. It just creates 2 single hex obstacles and empty hexes adjacent to me. I don't really think we want that. That is not ranged. This is not ranged. So the question is, for this last 3 cards, what do we want to do? Well, is there anything... Now, one of the things about the Forceful Storm is it does create wind, and the Maximus can use the wind for his pierce. So we're going to go ahead and use that because they build off of each other a little bit. Not too bad. And I may go ahead and use Unstable Upheaval because at worst it's a good initiative. It's a very good initiative. It does have this ability of targeting all enemies up to 2 hexes away, and if I get a giant sledgehammer, then that will be pretty handy. which leaves me one card left. So there's a move with a loss. Could be handy. Attack for loss, create 2 single hex obstacles in front of me. There's an attack immobilize. And that attacks on either side of me the opposing strike. And gives me retaliate 2. I kind of feel like the retaliate, that ability is a little more versatile with the attack and the retaliate 2. There might be some other options we want to consider, but for now I think I'm going to go with that and see how that goes. So that will be our starting cards. We'll go back to the world map, and we can partake in city encounters. So a city encounter will look like, we'll hit continue. I'm skipping past a lot of this. I'll just explain things as I go, as they need explaining, but this is a city encounter, so most of the time when you return to the city, you'll have a city event, and when you go on the road to travel to a scenario you're going to do, you're going to have a scenario event, or a road event, rather. While enjoying your customary post-adventure drink at the Sleeping Lion, you notice something weird going on with lamps in the bar. Your first thought is that it is your imagination, but after staring at the lamps intently, you see they are flickering in and out. Tech lamps, as opposed to normal gas-burning ones, have been known to be a bit unreliable. As if on cue, the lamps suddenly go out completely, leaving the room pitch black. Offer to fix the lamps. It shouldn't be too hard with a bit of technical know-how. Take the opportunity to steal some valuables from drunk patrons in the dark. So, really, in some ways, this can influence how we're perceived, and this will probably increase our, reputation if we offer to fix the lamps. This one will probably give us some money, and we'll lose some reputation, but we'll have some money. I know that reputation, as the game goes along, tends to be not too hard to obtain, and we are starting out as pretty lowbrow mercenaries. We're just trying to get something going here. We're pretty poor, so I'm going to go with we're going to take advantage of these folks. Party's reputation has been influenced by our actions, yada yada yada. So we lost some reputation, and we didn't actually get any money. So I thought we were going to get something there, but we did not. Fantastic. So we lost reputation and gained nothing. Oh well, that can happen. All right, so let me take a look at my phone here. I think we are going to pause there and come back when it is time for going on our journey to the Black Barrow, and we'll take up that adventure next time.